Hello and welcome to Sinner Celine's Kit Review. So first up is her characteristic, where she enters battle with 2 stacks of tomb, and she gains 1 additional tomb every 30 seconds. She is also unable to use or recover energy. Her Mania Intensify increases her attack speed, and her normal attack does magic damage to an enemy. Her ultimate is castable only when she's carrying 2 marks, and she's able to transfer the stack of 2 mark to an allied sinner, and this will just consume 1 stack of the tomb mark that she herself is carrying. So tomb increases the attack speed of the sinner by a percentage, and it will stack up to 2 times. Her passive 1 increases the damage dealt by the sinner who carries the 2 marks, and this at skill level 10 is 32% damage dealt increase in total. Her passive 2 allows her to heal the 2 mark bearers, and it is based on the amount of times that she deals damage. So this means that if you use her in physical dark zone map 1, she's unable to provide any form of healing whatsoever. Her shackles is as such. Shackle 1 increases the maximum stack limit of 2 marks by 1, and this is affecting all of the fielded sinners, so Celine and any other allied sinners. And when entering battle, all allied sinners will gain 1 stack of 2 mark. So this means that the maximum stack limit is now 3 for both Celine and any other allied sinners, and this increases the total buff of her ultimate to 90% attack speed and 38% damage dealt increase. Shackle 2 and 5 increases the attack speed buff per tomb mark. So at Shackle 2, at 3 stacks of tomb, the allied sinner will have 99% attack speed buff, and at Shackle 5 it will increase up to 108%. Shackle 3 will increase the attack of the allied sinner per tomb mark carried, so up to a stack limit of 3, which means that it will buff up to 30% attack. Shackle 4 just reduces the interval which Celine gains tomb mark from 30 seconds down to 25 seconds. Celine's Crime Band has 3 users at ECB 1, 2, 3, and has a 30-second cooldown after each use. So this cooldown starts from the moment you activate it, and this means that you have about 18 seconds downtime in case you wanna spam the ECB afterwards. So Celine will enter flow state, and this just increases the buff effect of the tomb marks by 20% at ECB 1 up to 40% at ECB 3. So this is basically just a 1.2 to 1.4x multiplier, and it will also deal core damage in a 3x3 around each tomb mark bearer. So up to a maximum of 2 core damage can be dealt to the same enemy. So if there are 3 or more sinners that carry the tomb mark and are standing next to a core revealed enemy, only 2 of the cores will be broken when Celine casts her ECB. And so let's address some details first. How do you see the number of tomb that each sinner has? So for Celine, you'll be able to see it by the visual indicator beside on the left side of her health bar, where it will show you exactly how many tomb marks she has. And for any other sinner, Celine included, it will show by the floating books around the allied sinner. So when you cast your ultimate on another sinner, Celine reduces the number of tomb marks she has by 1, and you will see that the allied sinner will gain an extra stack of tomb. So from her exclusive prime bands, you will know the period of her ECB active state, so the flow state, when you see that the books surrounding the sinners are open and shining purple. So for example, when I cast the ECP now, you will see that it changes the books from a closed book to open, and they will have a purple flash. And this basically means that her ECP is active, and the cooldown timer starts from the moment that you cast it. So I will only have a 18 seconds uh cooldown period, technically speaking. So during this ECB flow state period, the buff effects of her tomb are increased by 1.2 to 1.4 times, which means that the buff, well, basically the sinners during this state, which most likely will be during core break state, will get extra buff from her ultimate and her passive one. So the recommended shackle for Celine is shackle 3, and it is generally not recommended to pull anything less than that. Why? Because at shackle 0 she is quite frankly incomplete and would require shackle 1 to have a sort of niche use in attack speed teams. However, this means that she becomes like Parfait, where you can only field her for one singular team, or rather a very niche kind of team. And yeah, like that is kind of bad for a catalyst that has so much potential and utility. So when you pull up to shackle 3, this basically makes her sort of a beast, but in reality it's just like an upgraded version of Shin, where she is able to grant attack, damage dealt, and attack speed on top of being able to do core damage. So yeah, you really want to pull shackle 3 on on Celine, because that is when she starts replacing Shin, even shackle 3 Shin in most, if not all cases. So the comparison for Shin and Celine is as such: shackle 2 and below, Shin or Celine, you would prefer to feel Shin, and if it's shackle 3 or above, Shin Celine, you would prefer to have Celine fielded. So the good thing about her is that since she doesn't use energy, she's able to use support crime brands such as Afterglow, Justice, or even Heartache, since she's able to core break. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Oh, another thing is that if you are going to play her in cases like shield stack, you do not really want to upgrade her passive 2 that much, because she heals based on her attack, and shield stacking Celine would mean that she's able to heal demon, which is kind of a bad idea. But that is generally it for Celine, and yeah,